As well, the recent release of the new Marvel and Disney What If Donald Duck Became Iron Man comic. We now have three What If Donald Duck comics. What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor? And What If Donald Duck Became Iron Man? And today I'm going to stop and I'm going to rank all three of them from the worst to the best. With that said, let's get started. Coming in last place for me is going to be What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? And overall, I think while this is a decent enough idea for a Marvel and Disney What If Donald Duck comic that celebrates both Donald Duck and Wolverine, uh, at the end of the day, there's not enough done with the concept, and most of the background characters end up overshadowing the actual main plot of the comic of What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine, uh, to where Donald as Wolverine is enjoyable enough, but he could definitely be more enjoyable. There's definitely room for improvement. I would like to see them re-explore the idea of Donald as Wolverine. There's definitely potential there to touch some things up and have an interesting character. But as is, it's just okay enough for right now. In second place, I'm going to go with What If Donald Duck Became Iron Man. And overall, I think while this is a pretty solid, like Marvel and Disney What If, uh, it takes elements of, like the first two What If Donald Duck comics and kind of expands on the idea a little bit. And, like seeing like the idea of Donald Duck, repurposing essentially what is a gardening device and using it, to stop the Beagle Boys from doing a plot to rob Scrooge McDuck in his money bin. It's fun enough, and like like the whole subplot of like him trying to do all this, Donald Duck trying to do all this before his date with Daisy is interesting. There's solid action with the way that they handle Donald as Iron Man. That's pretty fun, and visually it's just very entertaining. But overall, pretty solid. Definitely a step up from the What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine. But coming in first place for me is going to be What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor. And overall, I thought this was actually a lot of fun and just really takes advantage of the idea of something that initially is as goofy as the idea of Donald Duck becoming Thor, and actually stops and takes a moment to be like, hang on a minute, this actually has potential to be a lot of fun, and really dive into like the idea of like what if Donald Duck had super strength? What if Donald Duck had control over the weather? What would Donald Duck do with like Thor's hammer Mjolnir? Like, and does a really good job of that. And also, it's the only comic out of the three that doesn't have the Beagle Boys as a main threat. It's got these stone duck alien creatures that are just a more threatening presence, and it's actually they're a more interesting antagonist in this story. And overall, yeah, like for the most part, this is just like as far as the Marvel and Disney What If Donald Duck comics. For me, What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor is by far the best one they've done so far with Donald Duck. Um, Coming up in July, there's going to be a Marvel and Disney What If Goofy Became Spider-Man. And when that comes out, we're going to be doing a ranking of all 7 of the Marvel and Disney What If comics. What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor? What If Minnie Became Captain Marvel? What If Mickey and Friends Became the Fantastic Four? What If Mickey and Friends Became the Avengers? What If Donald Duck Became Iron Man? And what if Donald Duck became? What if Spider-Man? What if Goofy became Spider-Man? And so yeah, I'm going to be doing a ranking of all 7 of those when that comic comes out, as well as I'm going to also be doing reviews, individual reviews for um, the Marvel and Disney What If Minnie Mouse became Captain Marvel, What If Mickey and Friends became Fantastic Four, What If Mickey and Friends became the Avengers, and What If Goofy became Spider-Man. I'll be doing individual reviews for those as well, so keep an eye out for that. Let me know what do you guys think down below in the comment section below of the Marvel and Disney What If comics. What are your favorite of the 3 What If Donald Duck comics? Did you prefer Donald Duck as Wolverine, as Iron Man, or as the Mighty Thor? Would love to hear your comments down below. Talk to you later. Bye.